seconds.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's really good to welcome you to this very special Easter concert with Marilyn Baker and Tracy Williamson. You may well be aware that MBM Ministries is a faith ministry. This means that they rely entirely on gifts and donations. So if you would like to give a gift, there's a line on the comments on YouTube that will give you a link through to the Marilyn Baker Ministries website where you can pick up all the details. So that's fantastic. And I'd like now to hand over to Marilyn Baker.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to have Roy doing it. We're missing our dear Rachel actually as well, because she usually introduces and Roy's stepping in for us. But Rachel's daughter has recently got married, and right now I think that Rachel is doing some special choir rehearsal ready for Easter. Anyway, the point is, we're so glad that you're with us. And this is an Easter Joy concert. And so we're going to start off with a song that I wrote for children originally, but we're all kids at heart, aren't we? And this song is called Jesus is Alive in Me. Have you ever wanted to be a singer or a football star? You read all the books and you follow the rules, but you don't seem to get too far. No, 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 you don't seem to get too far. Day by day as I travel along, my heart is singing this joyful song. The greatest thing that could ever be is that Jesus is alive in me. The only way that you could live like the person you are dreaming of, if somehow he could live in you like a hand inside a glove. Oh yes, like a hand inside a glove. Day by day as I travel along, my heart is singing this joyful song. The greatest thing that could ever be is that Jesus is alive in me. We could never hope to live the way God wants us to, but the Lord himself and all his mighty power is living in me and you. So don't be discouraged, Christian friend. Believe what God can do. Allow his all victorious light to shine every day through you. Oh, just believe that it can shine every day through you. Day by day as I travel along, my heart is singing this joyful song. The greatest thing that could ever be is that Jesus is alive in me. Jesus is alive in me. Jesus is alive in me. Well, you know, it is an amazing thing that God himself has decided to make his home when we're Christians in our lives. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? And, you know, the joy of what Jesus did on the cross for us, enabling us to come so close to the Father that nothing could separate us from him anymore. Just think of that. Nothing will ever separate us. And we are becoming one with him, joined to him forever. He's joined us to himself. That's what the cross has done. And it's meant, of course, that he took all the blame for the wrong things we've done. That's the wonder of the cross. So here's this song, All the Wrong We've Ever Done. All the wrong we've ever done, all the blame was laid on God's Son, so that we can be completely free from the guilt of all our sin. All the wrong you've ever done, all the blame was laid on God's Son, so that you could be completely free from the guilt of all your sin. His very own righteousness he has given you and me, made us one with his Son, joined to him eternally. All the wrong we've ever done, all the blame was laid on God's Son, so that we could be completely free from the guilt of all our sin. From the guilt of all our sin. It's an incredible thing to know that we are forgiven. God has said he will remember our sins no more. He could remember them, but he's put them behind his back. Even the deepest and darkest things that we've thought even. Remember that God understands how we think, and it's the thoughts that make us do what we do, the things that come from our hearts. But God wants to cleanse us and make our hearts whiter than snow. Isn't that incredible? And he also tells us this, that we're loved with the same love that the Father actually loves Jesus, because now we have been placed in a brand new position. We are in Christ. Just like you put a piece of paper inside a book and it's covered by that book, we are in Christ. And when the Father sees us, he sees Jesus. And this gives us all the benefits that Jesus would have, because, you know, he's a dearly beloved son, and we are now dearly loved sons and daughters, placed inside the cover of his love. And so this song now, loved with an everlasting love. Loved with an everlasting love by a Father who knows us through and through. Loved with the same love the Father loves Jesus, so free, so perfect and pure. that's strong, dependable, and sure. Loved with an everlasting love by a Father who knows us through and through. Loved with the same love the Father loves Jesus, so free, so perfect and pure. A love that's strong, dependable, and sure. I love that. Nobody else's love can be as perfect, but his love is perfect. And yet sometimes we wonder how life is working out. Things get very difficult. We have terrible moments at times, don't we? But yet, as we talk to him, and when we do, we need to see that his heart is towards us to help us and to care for us. Well, before we get to that Easter joy, the real Easter joy, we need to think what it cost Jesus and the Father to win this, enormous, victorious restoration for mankind, where sin and Satan's power and death has been totally conquered through what Jesus achieved on the cross. And so we're going to read some parts of Isaiah 53, a bit to begin with. That's a prophetic word that Isaiah had hundreds of years about the Messiah before it even came to pass, and then about Jesus' suffering in Matthew 27. Now, Tracy, my wonderful helper and partner in the ministry, will be reading this. Tracy, if you don't know, is actually deaf herself and visually impaired too, but her ears and eyes spiritually are wide open, and God blesses her in so many ways. I'm going to play in the background, but now let's enter in to the incredible things that happened on that time when Jesus was taken from Gethsemane to the cross.
These readings are from Isaiah 53 and from Matthew 27. It's despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and familiar with suffering, like one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he took up our infirmities and carried our sorrows. Yet we considered him stricken by God, smitten by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgression. He was crushed for our iniquity. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, but the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand and knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spat on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days. Save yourself! Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He is the King of Israel. But let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God, but let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, the robbers who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. From the 6th hour until the 9th hour, darkness came over all the land. From the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks split. When the centurion and those who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely this is the Son of God."
Incredible what Jesus had to go through and the way people mocked him. And I'm going to sing a song now which is very different. It's actually a hymn, but I've set a brand new tune to it. It is a thing most wonderful. I wrote it quite a long time ago. It's fairly classical in style, but I hope you'll enjoy the difference and help us to think about the words. It is a thing most wonderful, almost too wonderful to be, that God's own Son should come from heaven and die to save a child like me. And yet I know that it is true. He chose a poor and a humble lot. He wept and toiled, mourned and died for love of those who loved him not. Sometimes I think about the cross. I shut my eyes and I try to see the cruel nails, the crown of thorns, and Jesus crucified for me. Yet even could I see him die, I would only see a little part of that great love which, like a flame, is always burning in his heart. And yet I want to love thee, Lord. Oh, light the flame within my heart, that I may love thee more and more, until I see thee as thou art. Quite different, isn't it? Quite a different rendering Now look, Marilyn, where's this joy? This concert's called Easter Joy, isn't it? Well, it is. And just think of this. Remember the thief. You know, he was mocking that thief on the cross. The two of them were mocking, but then suddenly he had deep illumination and understanding came to him that Jesus was no ordinary man. And he didn't know what to say or how even to ask God for help. I'm sure many people are like that, but inside they feel this kind of longing, they want more. But he knew he needed help, and so he cried out to Jesus, "Remember me, Lord, when you come into your kingdom. Like, help me." And Jesus wasn't looking for the ABC of how to become a Christian. Jesus heard his heart cry, and he said the most beautiful, reassuring words to this dying man, who obviously hadn't lived a good life, but who now was crying out to God, realizing there was more than he'd ever realized before and ever known before. Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. You will be with me in paradise." Isn't that incredible? Here's a song that lifts our spirits. It's called "What a Great Day That Will Be." Jesus himself has promised that whosoever comes to him will live forever. Though they may die, yet they shall live again. Oh, what a great day that will be, living in perfect harmony with our God so close by our side, and knowing we'll be evermore with him. And he said, "Don't let your heart be troubled, for in my Father's house are many rooms, and I am going to prepare a place there just for you." What a great day that will be, living in perfect harmony. No more sickness, no more pain, and knowing we'll be evermore with him. Jesus himself has promised that when your life comes to its journey's end, he will not leave you. He will come himself to take you home. Oh, what a great day that will be, living in perfect harmony. God will wipe away all tears, and we shall be evermore with him. Fantastic. We will not know how amazing it is till we get there. But, you know, when we put our trust in him, he says he will come and take us himself to be with him. He will come and take us. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Well, Tracy has new understanding of what all this means lately concerning her mum, who passed away not long ago. I'm going to ask Tracy to introduce a poem now that she is going to read for us.
Right. Yes, well, that new understanding has come about in a very sad way, because just a few weeks ago, my mum passed away after a short illness, and I was able to be with her in the hours leading up to her death. And she was in a coma. She wasn't really aware that I was there, but I was praying for her, and I'd been praying very much for her over these last years as she has got older. But I did really have this absolute certainty that God put in my heart that she had indeed somehow, maybe even within that coma, opened her heart to his love and did go home to be with him. And he has given me the faith to know that, and to know that joy despite the sadness of her passing. And as I reflected on that, then this poem came to me. It starts at that point when I'm watching her life ebb away. And then it moves on to the joy of what Jesus has done. And so here we go. It's called Resurrection Hope. Pain upon pain, beauty stripped away, frailty unending, gasping breaths. I gaze into those unseeing eyes, hear the last sigh of their breath, and in that moment, my loved one is gone. Death has wrapped its black cloak, stealing away the love I've always known. Death seems so final, so bleak. But where, O death, is your sting? Where is your victory? For even as that frail body fades and breaths cease, even as their familiar form stills and eyes close, their new life begins. As you, Jesus, come to take them home. Your gift to us, O Lord, the most beautiful gift that could ever be. Resurrection hope. For Lord, as you willingly died, you broke death's grip and ended its reign. Death could not hold you. You burst from the grave, radiant in glory and awesome power. Lovingly you handed us that beautiful gift, everlasting life, eternity with you, light and glory, wonder and joy, a divine dance of love. Frailty is transformed into immortality. Pain, not even a memory. You wipe away every tear, for you are risen. And as we trust in you, our own dying and the passing of those we love simply becomes the doorway to a glorious new day. We all have that hope as we trust in him.
Thank you, Tracy. That certainly does bring understanding of what it means when we pass from that mortal state into immortality. And it is something that happens in a flash, in a moment. But the amazing thing is that before Jesus died on that cross, there was no access to God. There was a barrier between mankind and God. There was a disconnect. And Jesus broke that down and came to free us from the oppression of the devil. Anyway, we're going to do something special now. We're going to do, I'm just going to sing and Tracy's going to do a dance. And believe me, this isn't easy. Tracy's doing dance on Zoom, so you can only see a bit of her doing it. And, she's going to have a hip operation soon, and I don't know how she thinks she's going to do it, but anyway, I think she'll try. We're going to do this song, which isn't mine. It's called He's Alive. A real dear friend of mine wrote it, and so we hope that you enjoy this song. So I hope Tracy's ready, and we will go for it. You say he's gone, this God of ours who died to bring us freedom. Hearts filled with hate, they crucified the Son, but they could not take his life. For as the sun dies in the evening, and then will rise again at dawn, so he took our darkness with him, and then arose, so we'll sing his Easter song. He's alive, he's alive, he's alive. He's alive, he's here, he's risen. La la la, la la la, praise his name. He's alive, he's here, he's Lord. One morning we went, we found that the stone was rolled away. An empty tomb, the dawn of a really beautiful day. Deep inside was a shining light, a light that shines out still. Don't let them deceive you when they say that they stole his body away. We've really met him. In fact, we talked to him today. He's not restricted to a human form. His spirit is everywhere. You say he's gone, this God of ours who died to bring us freedom. Eyes blind and closed, we still go stumbling on, because we will not take his light. But as the sun dies in the evening, and then will rise again at dawn, so we'll give our darkness to him, and then arise to his resurrection. Thank you, Tracy, for doing that with me. I hope Tracy got all the way through that. But, you know, it might be that Trace did some of it. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. Now, you know, it is wonderful that Jesus is alive, so alive. And he's closer to us even than breathing. And in Isaiah 65, verse 24, it says these amazing words, and I love them. Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. And you know, sometimes we don't always get the things that we want or the way we want them. But God is not ignoring us. His heart is open to our heart cries, like that thief on the cross. And one thing that he says clearly in his word is that he can work all things together for good to those who love him. He will turn those things. They're not always good things that happen, but he can turn them around and use them for our good, for our development. The problem is we sometimes allow bitterness and grief and everything else that can, you know, block things for us, because life is very sad, but God understands, and sometimes we just need to pour our hearts out to him and say, I just don't understand why things happen the way they do, but I'm going to trust you. It's very hard to trust, actually, when things don't go the way we want. And God actually says that our trust and our faith is more precious to him than even gold, because it's hard. He knows how hard it is to trust at times. But as we do, I'm facing a situation at the moment because my guide dog, his sight is not so good, and I want him to keep working. He's been ill, and, you know, really, there are problems with that right now. But I don't want him to stop. He's an amazing boy. I learn a lot of lessons from him, actually. I mean, today I went down to our village, and when I was coming back, suddenly he took me off the pavement, and I thought, what on earth are you doing? We were walking in the middle of the road. It was a quiet road, and then we came back onto the pavement, but I suddenly realised there was a big van completely blocking our path. I had no idea, but it was parked on the pavement, right nearly against, I would never have had a way of getting past. And I thought, oh, thank you, dear Arlo, you are an incredible guide. And just as I have to hold the harness of my guide dog, and I have to feel all the little movements as he guides me, and I have to follow, it's incredible to me how God guides us. There are many things that we don't understand, and yet he's promised to guide, to help, and always to have that everlasting embrace for us, because he says underneath are the everlasting arms. Everlasting, they do not end, and they're there all the time. So here's a song that I think many of you will know. It's called I'm Held in the Hollow of His Hand. I'm held in the hollow of his hand. That's where I am. That's where I am. I'm held in the center of his love. That's where I am. That's where I am. Well, the Lord loves to show us just how much he loves us. Then our fears and our doubts just melt away. I'm held in the hollow of his hand forevermore, yes, for eternity. The Lord loves to show us just hollow of his hand forevermore, yes, for eternity. And I find that gives me courage in life. It gives me courage to keep going. It gives me courage to face the challenges, which is really fantastic, isn't it? Now, obviously, the joy of Easter for me is the treasure of this relationship that I now have with God. And I know that he longs to come to each of us and to help us in every circumstance. Remember that his ear is attentive to our heart's cry. And he understands our weaknesses like no one else. Because his heart is tender towards us. It says that he remembers we are but dust, we are finite, we're just so, I don't know how to put it really, but we're just not strong. We're quite fragile, aren't we? And I believe that he wants to embrace each one of us. And he did want to do that actually for Jerusalem, for that city where so many people had trusted in the temple and in the rules of religion and all that. And he said, weeping, he said, I've so often longed to gather you like a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. And then he said, but you would not. So maybe you felt disappointed in God, or maybe you feel your prayers haven't been answered. But try now to come back to him. Don't allow poison to infest your heart with bitterness. Be real with him. Here's another song now. My love will never fail you. My love will never fail you. My peace will be your guide. My grace will always keep you. Yes, I am close by your side. My strength is here to help you, and my arms are open wide. Let me show you how I love you. Yes, I am close by your side. My love will never fail you. My peace will be your guide. My grace will always keep you. Yes, I am close by your side. Well, we're coming in a way towards our concert ending, but I want to sing a song about the joy of this fact that he says, I'm going to prepare a place for you, so that where I am, you may be also. And of course, the adventure with him starts now, our lives, as he guides us, and we talk to him about all kinds of things, and he helps us in different ways. But then this incredible moment when we will meet him face to face. Our questions will be answered, because not only will we meet him face to face, but we will changed. We will actually be changed in ourselves to be like him. So this song off my latest album, many of you will know it, dance along if you like at home, is called Joy of My Heart. Eye has not seen, nor the ear ever heard, nor the heart of man could possibly imagine all the joy and the wonder, all the beauty of heaven, all that God has prepared for those who love him. He's making a way where there is no way. He's pouring out streams in the desert. He's preparing a place with him face to face. The joy of our hearts, he's the joy of our hearts, the joy of our hearts. His light's so revealing, yet his love is so healing, and the joy of his presence beyond all believing, and there's no condemnation from the one who loves us. Our God is for us, so who can be against us? We're coming to him as his spotless bride, and he's standing with his arms open wide. He's made everything new, and he's saying to you, you're the joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. And we're saying to him now, you're the joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. His light's so revealing, yet his love is so healing, and the joy of his presence beyond all believing, and there's no condemnation from the one who loves us. Our God is for us, so who can be against us? We're coming to him as his spotless bride, and he's standing with his arms open wide. He's made everything new, and he's saying to you, you're the joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. And we're saying to him now, you're the joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. And he's saying to us now, you're the joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. And we can't help singing your praises. No, no, we can't help singing your praises. We're dancing for joy in your presence. Yes, and now we're dancing for joy in your presence. We can't help singing your praises. No, no, we can't help singing your praises. Yes, we are. The joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. The joy of my heart, you're the joy of my heart, the joy of my heart. one thing I do sense is that there's somebody here who does not believe and cannot believe that they are the joy of God's heart. I think you feel you've gone too far. You've done something that's, too difficult to get over. You can't actually forgive yourself. And that is the blockage for you. It's very easy to feel that we just cannot forgive ourselves, and we kind of, and yet this is the joy of the cross. God says you need to accept it as a free gift. You need to accept it from my hand, and you need to know that everything has been wiped clean, and that you now are the joy of my heart, and I want to work with you. I want to live my life with you and in you, because you are the joy of my heart. Now, I think Tracy may have something that she wants to share. I'm not sure. Tracy, do you want to say anything before we draw to a close?
Yes. I just have a couple of things to share that fit in really well with what Marilyn's just been saying. And the wonder of the cross and all that Jesus did at Easter is that we can know him and we can hear his voice, just like we might hear any of our friends. And he speaks into our hearts and he draws our attention to things. Sometimes he might give us a little visual idea or drop a thought within us. Well, I had a little visual idea first of all. It was as if I could see someone in my mind's eye, and you were frantically searching for something. I have this quite a lot with Marilyn, who loses things quite frequently. But this wasn't Marilyn. This was someone, and you were going in your home and searching absolutely everywhere. And there was this sense of despair that you couldn't find it. And it was it was a thing that you'd lost. I don't know what, but it was coming from a deeper place than that. It was as if you felt that if you couldn't find whatever it is, that you would be at the end of yourself. And I sense the Lord's such deep compassion for you and saying to you, don't despair. As you relax, as you stop your franticness, I will help you lay your hand on that thing. It is there. It's not disappeared. But more than that, know that I am always there for you. I'm always alongside you as your friend. And that deeper sense that has been coming out of that panic of what you've lost, he is reaching into that and saying, I'll never turn my back on you. I'm always there for you. It may be that you've been abandoned by the people in your life, but he is there for you. So do take that to heart. And I had another picture too. And in this one, it was as if I could see Jesus. And he was reading a book. And he was reading it with such interest, totally taken up with what was going to come next. He was laughing at different things, full of joy at others, absolutely delighted in every page of that book. And I was thinking as I saw this in the picture, what is this book? And it put the thought back in my heart that it was the book of your life, and someone's life here, and who's watching tonight, that you've never felt that you've matched up to much. It may have been that your parents never took much notice of you, that your achievements and different things never counted with them. But in this book, Jesus is saying absolutely everything, even the things you're not aware of yourself, the way you've smiled at someone, the way you've reached out to someone, all the little things going back into your childhood, your first steps, the things you achieved at school, your first jobs, the different sports things, play things, study things, relationship things. They've all brought him so much joy because you bring him joy. And so if you feel that sense of, I don't matter, I have no significance, he said you matter so much. As Marilyn's saying, you truly are the joy of my heart. So know that book of your life is in his hands and is absolutely delighting in every page. And more than that, he knows the future. And you're absolutely safe in his love forever. Thank you, Marilyn.
Yes, you're in the centre of his love. You're in the centre of his love, and he's excited as he reads that book. And you don't think you've got much colour in your life, but he sees all those things, the ways you've reached out and the sacrifices. That's a beautiful picture. Well, here's a couple of songs now, and we're going to end after that. This song is just a short chorus that many of you may know. Jesus, you are changing me. Jesus, you are changing me by your Spirit. You're making me like you. Jesus, you're transforming me, that your loveliness may be seen in all I do. You are the potter, and I am the clay. Help me to be willing to let you have your way. Jesus, you are changing me as I let you reign supreme within my heart. Incredible. We will be like him. We will be changed from one degree of glory to another. Allow him to do that. My prayer is that his loveliness may be seen in all I do. Wow. I'd love that to be so. And for you too. I really would. And, you know, we're coming to the end. MBM, that's MBM Trust. We are, as we've already told you, a faith ministry, and we do a lot online these days. Now, if you'd like to join us, then look at our website, mbm-ministries.org, and you can come on to our online conferences. We've got one coming up in May, actually. And we've actually also got some residential things happening, so look on the website to find out the info and book in for those things if you would like. And also, if you want to be on our mailing list, then go on the website, contact our administrator Rachel. You can actually do info@mbm-ministries.org, and you can tell her that you would like to be on our mailing list so you can keep up with everything that's happening. Anyway, it's been great having you with us. Absolutely marvellous. And so I'm going to sing the blessing song, and then we will be drawing to a close. May the the blessing of the Lord our God rest upon you day by day. May He keep and guide you every step of the way, and may you know His peace deep within your heart, and may His love control all you do and say. And may you know His peace deep within your heart, and may His love control all you do and say. Well, we'd like to thank everyone for being with us. If you hadn't come on, we wouldn't be doing the concert, would we? And don't forget, you can tell your friends, send them the link, or get them to look it up, and they can watch it anytime they like, because I'm sure that many will watch it even nearer Easter. And we'd like to thank Christine, who's been typing so that Tracy has been able to hear what's going on, and of course other people who are hard of hearing will be able to see that on YouTube. You can tune back in to that. It'll the same link that you've got now. We'd like to thank Roy for hosting for us, and you know, we've had a great time together. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's made you think as well. But it now just leaves me to say, and Tracy too, to all of you, have a wonderfully happy Easter, and we're looking forward to being with you again in the future, not too long ahead. Goodbye.
Yes, have a wonderful Easter. I was trying to unmute myself. Have a wonderful Easter, and we love you joining us.